Let's see. We're gonna go live on YouTube here. There you are. We're live on YouTube, so we're gonna go live here. Oh, we're already live.
We're already rolling.
Rolling. Let's see. Got my sidekick here, Aaron, and we have the chat on.
So leave any questions if you have any.
Yeah, you can also find us on YouTube, but also if you're on TikTok, we decided to go live on TikTok because we've been doing a lot of stuff on TikTok, and I've been going live Sunday nights, and then we have a Monday live webinar. I don't want to stay looking over here, so I'll kind of look every now and then over there so I can hear us. But get it started, Aaron.
All right. So today we're going to be talking about building your own body shop business, the pros and cons of self-paid
All right.
customers. Oh, it's still on. Mic check.
Let me know if you're on TikTok. If you have any questions, we have some good stuff to talk about today. We're talking about
We got a logo. We just can't see because it's so dark.
we have another logo that you can add.
I don't have it.
Put it on my shirt right there.
All right. Look at that.
Like a sweater. We have another logo, white one.
Yeah, but I don't have it here. That's why.
Oh, okay. Where's that?
On that, but I
Hold
can't
on.
connect it.
Hold on real quick. Let me see if I can hook this guy up. Let me see. Bruh. Hey, so the Massive Action podcast. We cover everything in the body shop industry. Like, from technician point of view to management point of view to ownership point of view, and how to get to the next level. And when I say get to the next level, I'm referring to maybe you're a technician and you're trying to make more money. Maybe you're a shop owner and you're like, man, I need to figure out how to get this shit together because I'm tired of running in circles. And so we talk about it. We talk about it, things that we're doing, strategies that we're doing. We're very much in the grind. Like, we have our business. We're in the grind every day. So we're growing that business. We have several other businesses that we're growing. So they're all incongruent with what we got going on. And when I say congruent, what that means is like we have a series of businesses that operate together. So like what we're doing is we're really maximizing our time by saying, okay, you know what, if we're going to be doing this, we can actually have another business that's doing this. And so we're generating all these other streams of income, but we're in the same industry. We're not saying like, okay, I'm going to have a collision shop, and I'm going to have a restaurant. I'm going to have a bar. I'm going to have like, you can do that eventually, but the first thing you got to do is get congruent with what you're currently doing, so you're not getting burnt out. So did you get that? Oh, perfect. Dang, it's on there. So if you're joining us, we're also on YouTube, and let me see. And if you have any questions, you can leave them in the chat. What does this mean? Look, what does this mean?
I'm not sure, but we're good.
Okay. Oh, look at this. Look, timestamps. What does that mean?
It's lagging. That's why.
What's open with? Oh, look.
Yeah, it's the connection.
Oh, look.
You got it?
Let's get it started. Come on.
All right. So we're going to be talking about building your body shop business, the pros and cons of self-paid customers, how to get insurance claims, and then pros and cons of getting a paint mixing system.
Okay, yeah.
Ready to get into it?
Yeah, what is we? Oh, next week I thought this was like word of the month or something. I read it wrong. Yeah, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Let me see which one's that. Get
All right. So pros and cons of self-paid customers. So either self-paid or insurance claims are what you're going to be dealing with.
Yeah, so uh, the pros and cons of self pay customers, right? So like most shop owners that I speak with, they're at a point where they're like, dude, like I want to start doing more insurance claims, right? And so I would say, okay, like let's kind of do an inventory of what you're currently doing right now,
Mm-hmm.
right? And a lot of times they're doing like custom work, they're doing restoration work, maybe they're doing like motorcycle work, and but they want to start doing insurance claims, right? Because they're like, man, I heard, bless you,
Thank you.
I heard that's where the money's at, right?
Yeah.
I mean the money's gonna be whatever you focus on. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say if you have a custom shop, and if you actually, ran that custom shop, where you're maximizing your profit, you'll probably make money doing the custom work. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing restoration work, you could probably maximize, your profit by, having a good system in place, right?
Instead of being all over the place.
Yeah. And so one thing that we had to go through as a transition was we had to identify what we wanted to focus on, right? So that whenever we said, okay, you know what, this is what we're going to focus on, we stopped doing like a lot of the restoration. We stopped doing a lot of the custom. We stopped doing a lot of the stuff that didn't fit into our category. Like, okay, we're just going to do insurance claims on this, this amount on this kind of damage, this kind of vehicle, right? So we're kind of narrowing, we're kind of getting more specific of what we want to do. And by doing that, yes, you're going to turn down a little bit of customers, right?
Yeah.
But you're also going to get new customers. You're going to attract customers because they're like, okay, this is where I want to bring my vehicle because I kind of see what the clientele they cater to. I kind of see the flow. I see what vehicles are here. I feel good about it. Um, the thing is, like, if you start to do insurance claims and you're trying to do these self pays, it's going to take time away from you to go write those estimates.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you're having to battle, okay, I'm going to go write this estimate. It's going to take me 30, 45 minutes. Maybe not that long, but it could take you that long. I'm going to go write this estimate, and I'm not even sure if they're going to do it. I'm not even sure if it's going to be accurate because if you don't make it accurate, you can't go back and charge them more money for it. You know what I mean? One thing that we're going to try to start doing was we're going to start to do like a minimum amount. Like, for example, like, if someone wanted to bring their car, if they want to be a self-pay, and this is something that you might want to try. If you want to be a self-pay, if you want to start to promote like self-pay, maybe say, hey, you know what? Like, I can take it in, but it's going to be an open ticket.
Yeah.
What does that mean? That means that, just by looking at it, your minimum, it's going to start at about 1,500 on up. That way you can actually get into the vehicle. You can take it apart correctly. You can say, okay, you know what? I'm going to fix this. I'm going to have to buy that. Let me try to get that part better. That way it makes sense. But if you're trying to if someone's going to roll up on you and say, hey, I need an estimate for my car, and they want to hold you to that price, it's going to be very hard.
Yeah.
And dude, like we've done so many jobs, like I've done all kind of jobs, dude, like from like restoration to custom to like fleet to like commercial, like to boats to like motorcycles to RVs, like I've done it all, right? And it never fails. Like, you want to give someone a break, and you try to give them a good price to kind of fit. Man, my budget's only 1,500 or my budget's only 2,000, and you try to meet that little price range, and you end up losing because there's always going to be some additional damage. There's always going to be something that you can't fix,
Yeah.
And like it never fails, dude. Like, you try to help someone out, and then like they're gonna complain about something else. You know, like we did a couple. Like this was like a long time ago. This man, he had gotten in an accident, and he's like, man, I don't have insurance. I want to pay out of pocket. Right. Well, he had wrecked the right side of his vehicle, and it damaged the suspension. And he's like, I just want to get the body parts fixed. I was like, dude, like you need a strut, like because your wheel's bent. And he's like, well, how much is the strut? And I was like, man, the strut's like $300. And I said, but like, it might not just need the strut. Like, it's gonna probably need, like, maybe the lower control arm, or it's gonna need an alignment. The cradle might be damaged. I don't know. I'm just like, because I'm just looking at it. I'm saying like, for sure, I know you need a strut, right? And then so like, I said, he's like, well, you know what? Just put the strut on there. And I said, what about the alignment? Like, you want to take it to get the alignment because the alignment's gonna tell you if there's additional damage, right? And so he was like, no, I'm gonna go do that myself. Well, we got the. I said, dude, like if you're gonna take it, if so, one thing that you can do, like if you're a shop owner and you're trying to hook people up, like you're giving them a good price, is make sure they sign like a release form. So with this man, I said, look, I said, if you don't want to pay for us to do the alignment, if you don't want to pay us to look at the suspension, like sign a waiver that you're gonna take care of that because I don't want you to come back and say, you know, that we didn't fix your suspension because all we're doing is putting a strut on it like a shock, right?
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Oh, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good." So he signed it. I got a witness to see him like that, because you can have someone sign it and then I sign it and then a witness sign it. So there's three people that sign it. And so, dude, sure enough, like this guy calls a month later. He's like, "Hey, man, I took my car because I needed a tire, and they said my alignment was off." And I said, "Did you ever go get an alignment?" He's like, "No, I didn't. I didn't think it needed it." I was like, "I told you it needed it." And he's like, "Well, I was just, I didn't want to spend the money, and I was gonna wait, and this and that, and this and that." And so, I said, "Man," I said, and so then I told him, I said, "Man, never again am I gonna like
Yeah.
put myself in the situation because like think about it like this. So whenever you're doing a job, like okay, you have to think, okay, so this goes back to like the pros and cons of self-pay customers. If a self-pay customer comes in and say, okay, how much time, money, and emotional energy am I going to have to put into this customer? You know what I mean? And what I'm saying is like when he's coming in, is he already asking for like favors? Hey, can you do this? When you paint the fender, can you go ahead and fix a dent on the door? Like, can you just go ahead and paint the roof?
Yeah.
Like, can you just go ahead and spray it real quick? Like that kind of talk. Like, there's no real quick. Like, So if you start getting that kind of talk, that might be like a red flag. Like, hey, man, this guy might, it might be a headache more than an opportunity. You know what I mean? So, uh, be cautious of the self-pay customers. I mean, if you're gonna go with the insurance claims, like stick to insurance claims. Like, stick to your guns and say, you know what, we're always gonna do insurance claims, and that's all we're gonna focus on. And like Daniel just commented, he says, I hate people like that. But you know what, Daniel, it comes back to like us. It's our fault. You know what I mean? It's our fault because like, you know, as technicians, as shop owners, like we try to hook people up. Like we see people, man, like, hey, man, like, man, can you hook me up? Can you give me the best deal? Can you like? And so we want to help people out, but like a lot of people don't understand. Like, hey, this shit is not like it's not that easy. Like, there's a lot of parts involved. There's a lot of the paint, the material, like the process. Like, you got to make sure it makes sense. And this goes back to like we talked about having a proper estimating system, because if you don't have an estimating system, you don't even know if you're making money on that job or not. If I can add to this before we go into the next thing is like most shop owners that I talk to is because we have the alliance. So what the alliance is, it's a private mastermind group where I meet with other technicians that are opening a business, or people that have a business, and they're like, man, like I have all these things going on. I don't even know where to start. So we have an alliance where we kind of break down like the steps and what needs to be in place for you to start making some money, right? Daniel had a question. If you have leftover paint, oh, can you touch this up? Yeah. So like people are like, hey, if you have leftover paint, can you go ahead and paint the roof?
Yeah.
Like, no, you can't just paint the roof. You know what I mean? Like, what I tell them, I said, look, I said, I'll charge you to paint the roof. It's actually gonna be cheaper to do it now because if I get paint, I'll just mix up more paint than having to go remix the whole thing of paint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, but a lot of times, like, so I try to stay away from like those kind of jobs. Like, we stopped doing like complete paint jobs because because the time they bottleneck your shop.
Yeah.
What bottleneck means is like you have a vehicle, it's all disassembled. You have parts everywhere. You're trying to do the trim outs. You're trying to take the doors off. You're trying to take the so you have this vehicle. It's all disassembled, and so now you have 2 or 3 guys working on that car. So it bottlenecks your shop. So rather than have these guys work on that vehicle, you can have them work on smaller claims. And we just say we don't do complete painting jobs no more. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but to add to that, like most shop owners that I work with is like they'll be like, hey man, I want to start doing rental cars, like the rental car place, right? The problem with the rental car place is like they don't like to pay, and they want a discount. So a lot of times, if you do an estimate, if you do an the only way you'll make money like doing rental cars is if you're mobile. Like if you have a van, you can go there. You
Yeah.
could do like a little touch up. Like that's the way. But if you take it to your shop, like if they want the bumper fixed, like you're probably gonna have to remove the bumper, spray it. Like if you actually do the numbers, like a lot of times you don't make money on the rental car stuff. We used to do a lot of stuff for I think Avis,
Yeah.
and it was just like it was just a bunch of mess, dude. Like because they want everything cheap. I understand like they're trying to save money, but like as far as like what we do, like we didn't want to like focus on that. We're like, you know what, we can be using this time uh to focus on getting new customers in our current customers, our current jobs that we have. Make sure we're paying better attention to those. The thing with the rent a car thing, like it's an illusion because maybe you have 5 cars there that are from the rent a car place, right? But they're all bumper jobs.
Yeah.
So now like your shop looks full and it looks like you're doing like a bunch of shit, but like you're really just doing 5 bumper jobs. You know what I'm saying? And now you have all those new vehicles there. Look, and they want to get net 30. Yeah, so they want to get paid in 30 or 60
Yeah.
days, you know what I mean? And if you ain't on top of that, if you ain't on top of that shit, like they won't call you. Like if you don't have a system where like okay, these are due, they're not gonna call you and say, hey, we just noticed that we hadn't paid you in 3 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so, you have to be on top of that. And the way that we do that is on our accounting system. Like it notifies us like which ones are outstanding. So it'd be like this is outstanding. Like so and so what it does, it keeps your attention on getting the jobs done, than having to remember like who owed me money, like who do I got to contact. So it kind of eliminates that whole confusion thing. But to answer your question, pros and cons of self-pay customers. Ask yourself, okay, how much time, money, and emotional energy is this guy gonna take? Is he asking for everything and he wants a discount and he wants this and that? Usually, what we'll do, like on a self-pay customer, is our labor rates will start off higher because we know that it's probably gonna require more work. There's gonna be probably some additional things we might have to fix, and so we give ourselves like a cushion.
Yeah.
But like I said, we don't really do like I don't think we do. When was the last kind? I mean, it's been a while, dude, since we've done a self pay. Maybe we've helped a family member out, but not as far as like just a random
Yeah.
customer. You know what I mean?
So
But
getting away from self-paid customers, how do you get insurance claims?
so we get that question a lot, like in our group, like they're like, hey, how do I get signed up with the insurance companies, right? And so the best way to get insurance companies like the claims is to make sure that you're marketing. So whenever we market, like we're not necessarily marketing to the insurance companies. We're marketing to the public, and we're educating them, and we're sharing like what we offer and our process. Uh, and so one thing that you can do that kind of it's a really good thing to do is let's just say someone comes by, right? So like with us, uh, you know, if someone shows up, we make them fill out for an appointment, right?
Yes.
And so we kind of start to gather the information. But let's just say someone is shopping around, they already have a claim, they're pretty much ready to make a decision to drop out their vehicle, and they come by, and so I'll give them a tour of the business.
Yeah.
You know, I'll give them a tour. Like, this is where we mix the paint. This is where we paint at. This is our frame machine. This is, Jesse, whatever. Like, I'll introduce them. Like, this is where we have our meetings. And so what I'm doing is I'm letting them know, like, we're transparent.
Yeah.
I'm letting them know, hey, like this is our kitchen, and you're welcome in our kitchen to see how we do things. You know what I
The
mean?
kitchen stays clean.
The kitchen stays clean. Like I mean, just imagine. Like I told people before, I said, just imagine if you go to a nice restaurant, and the owner comes down and says, "Hey, I want to give y'all a tour of the kitchen." Like, you're not gonna say no, right?
Yeah.
And so because he gave you the tour, how much more comfort are you gonna be, like, in the business? You're gonna be like, man, like, I feel comfortable. Like, I can eat comfortable because I know that they're taking care of everything on the back end.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's something that you got to stand out. So it's about standing out. So when customers come, I'll be like, hey, let me give y'all a tour. Because I guarantee when they go to another collision shop, like, they're not gonna get a tour,
No.
and they're gonna be expecting it.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be like, hey, can I get a tour? And they're gonna say some bullshit excuse. Oh, we can't because of safety reasons and our insurance and da, da, da. They're gonna make up all these excuses, and so now they know they're like, well, the other guy gave me a tour. Why can't you give me a tour? So automatically, they're like, oh, he's probably hiding something.
Yeah.
So just things like that, like, helps you get insurance claims. And what I said before is, like, we market to the public, and so we're marketing, we're advertising, and so we're actually attracting customers from the outside source. And so what tends to happen is, as you kind of get your flow going, you stay consistent with your business. Uh, is that good? Oh, it died.
No, it's fully charged.
Oh,
Make sure that one's.
as you stay consistent with your business. This one's about to die. Look.
Oh, it is about to die?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it right here.
Charged it yesterday.
As you stay consistent with your business, insurance companies will kind of know how you do work, and they'll start to say, hey, you know what, like, our direct repair shop is 4 weeks, out, but there's another shop over here that they do good work as well. They're not one of our shops, but you're welcome to use them, and so you'll start to get those referrals, and the thing is, like, by not being directly signed up with the insurance companies, we're not under those handcuffs. So we focus on the branding, like the branding, the educating, the networking, the creating relationships to get those claims. That's dying or what? You want to try to?
Yeah, try plugging that into the dongle. The white one.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, it's not gonna work because it's the 3. Look,
Just try it.
now this is the aux cord. Hello. Let me know if y'all can hear us on TikTok.
Bruh.
Yeah, so that's a different wire,
Yeah.
but we have an adapter for this.
Oh, we do?
Yeah. Where's the bag at?
That adapter?
Which, let me see. No, it's a black. It's the other one for this.
Oh. This one?
Let me see. No, it's gonna have a input. Let me see, Daniel. In your opinion, what is the worst insurance company you've worked with? Man, Daniel, like, we used to be like, oh, we don't want to work with this. No, that's not it either.
Sure.
Yeah.
You don't want to try that?
No, because look, it needs to have a 3. You see how this has 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to have a 3. This only has this. This is it needs to have it needs to be like this, but to a 3. It's all right.
Yeah, I don't think we have it.
Let me see.
So just unplug that. So
Yeah, they can still hear us. They can still hear us. They're not gonna be as clear, but you can still hear us. That's you. What is that?
that's you.
What? Oh, my phone.
You're
The
jamming
heck?
out over there.
Huh? What the heck? Damn, that's crazy. Daniel asked, like, what in your opinion, what is the worst insurance company you've worked with? So we used to like say like, oh, Geico's the worst, and we used to say like Pronto's the worst. But you know what we learned was um it wasn't that there were bad insurance companies. It's just we didn't know how to write estimates. We didn't know how to write supplements. That's the thing. Like the everything is in the supplement, Daniel. If you look, one of the problems that a lot of people make is whenever they're doing a supplement, and if you don't know what a supplement is, to anybody watching, like uh, whenever you get an estimate, whenever you the insurance is gonna give you an estimate, right? Okay, the estimates it's gonna probably be maybe like 60% of the damage, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's up to the repair center to write the additional damage. It's called a supplement, and to send that off, right? A mistake that a lot of people make is they'll do a supplement and they'll put all OEM parts. Okay, they'll put all OEM parts, uh, and they won't have no photos or they won't have good photos. And so the thing that you have to do is you have to do that estimate uh, with like kind of the insurance. Like you kind of want to do the job for them, right? For example, like if you write a supplement and you put all OEM parts on there, whenever that guy gets that supplement, he's gonna have to go and he's gonna have to delete all those parts. He's gonna have to go find aftermarket parts because, like, just because you put OEM parts, you're not gonna put it. Okay, so this is how you do it. Whenever you're gonna do a supplement, okay, go ahead and put on there the aftermarket parts. Okay, it's probably gonna have LKQ. Put the aftermarket parts on there. Uh, and make sure you have the photos with the buy the markers on Amazon. Mark where your damage is at. Make sure you take good photos. Take a lot of photos, and then send the photos with a good estimate. Okay, send the photos with a good estimate, and I guarantee you they'll pay you. They'll pay you. Let me see. They'll pay you. So like, there's no worse insurance companies. In fact, some of the smaller companies pay faster than the bigger companies.
Yeah.
Like if you have a proper estimate and you have the image report, the mistake that a lot of shops make is whenever they're doing their photos, they're not good photos. Like they're like you can't even tell what you're looking at. So on the photos, if you can one thing that I do on photos is like I'll take it like if I take it on my phone, I'll go to edit and then I'll go like to the where you can have a pin
Yeah.
and I'll pin where the damage or I'll put an arrow where the damage and I'll save it. Okay? I'll do that as much as possible or I'll mark on the vehicle where the damage is at. So when someone's seen it from across the country, right? They know what they're looking at and they see where the damage is at. So you're making everything like you're making their job easier, right? So that's the goal. Like if someone has to do it that's on the other side of the state and all they have to do is get it and look at it and they understand it and they're like, oh, everything's pretty much there. I'm just gonna approve it. That happens a lot. So it's not about the insurance companies. I think one thing that you have to be prepared on is um is conflict resolution. And this doesn't like what I'm saying is like they're like what is this guy talking conflict resolution, right? And so what that is this is what happens a lot, right? This is what happens a lot whenever you're doing a supplement. And whenever you're doing a supplement, let's say you put it into the insurance company and they so happen to have a field adjuster. A field adjuster is one that's going to come to your place and he's going to go over the damage with you, right? I'm gonna say 10 times out of 10, they don't look at the paperwork you sent in. So they're coming over here like okay, you called, like what do you need, right?
Yeah.
And so the way that you have to be prepared is the way you have to be prepared for this is you have to have a photo with a copy of your supplement, right? And you have to make sure that you're not in the middle of something. So a lot of times, if it's going to be a big supplement, uh, make sure they set an appointment. You know, if you have if you're still running if you're still painting or you're still doing body work and you're trying to do insurance claims, have them set an appointment. Say, hey, can you come at 3:30? Can you come at 10:30? And block off that time so when that guy from the insurance comes, you can actually go over the vehicle with him.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna be in a rush because what's gonna happen? They're gonna come. They're gonna say, okay, what do you need? And you're gonna go over really quick. They're gonna take photos and they're gonna take off. No, you want to make sure that you have your paperwork and you're going over each item. Okay, this is what we saw. Okay, you got it. Okay, this is what we saw. Got it. And so you want to add each line on there. And so this, and when I say conflict resolution, because they're gonna give you pushback. And so what I mean by that is like read that. Can you read the comment from Daniel?
No, I don't.
That's all right. I'll read it in a bit. What the way you kind of deal with that is you got to be prepared with documentation because look, they're gonna try to get under your skin, right? If you say, hey, I think we need 8 hours for that. No, I think 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you, let's do it. Let's do it like a role player here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so look, I'm gonna say, hey, Aaron, on this quarter panel. So what I'm gonna say is, I'm gonna say, hey, Aaron, on this quarter panel, we're recommending that it takes 8 hours.
Doesn't look like it.
Okay.
Looks like a smaller job.
Okay. So Aaron, how'd you come up with that number?
Just by looking at it.
Okay. So you're just going based off of an opinion.
Yes.
Okay. So you don't have no facts to supporting like why you should pay only 4 hours for this damage, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let me ask you this: how many years have you been repairing vehicles?
I don't repair them.
Okay. So myself, I've repaired vehicles, and then we have a technician over here that's he's been doing it for 20 years, right?
Yeah.
And we're recommending that we do at least minimum 8 hours on this. You know what I mean? And so, going based off an opinion or how you feel today, I mean, maybe you're in a bad mood. I don't know how you feel, Aaron.
Yeah.
Right? But it's gonna be that's not enough. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So wouldn't you agree, like that? This guy, being his experience, kind of has a little bit more weight than maybe you and I, because he's actually the one's going to be doing work.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe he might give you some more pushback.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a longer process.
Yeah, so it's going to be a longer process. So what I did was, okay, I said, you know what, we'll go ahead and attempt it for 6 hours, right? So what I'm saying is, like, we're going to attempt to repair it. And if we can't repair it, I'm going to call you back out to get the additional time. You see? So I'm still moving forward, but what a lot of shops do is, like, let's say I say, hey, Aaron, I'm recommending that we do 8 hours on this quarter panel. And you come back and say, let's say you say, no, I think it's about 4.5. So let's do that again, right? This is what happens a lot in the shop. So, hey, Aaron, on this quarter panel, we're recommending 8 hours.
I don't think it's gonna take 8 hours. Maybe 4.5 at most.
4? We need 8, dude.
No, I think 4.5.
Dude, like, what's going on, man? Like, dude, I need 8 hours on this, man. Like, you see, like, they get upset real quick. Versus, like, saying, okay, you know what? Like, if I get upset, what tends to happen is the shop owner says, you know what? Like, fuck it, just put whatever, dude. Just put whatever, man. Get your shit and get out of here. Like, just hurry up.
Yeah.
So then that adjuster, like, he won.
Yeah.
Because he got you pissed off, and whenever you get pissed off, you're not thinking logically. You're thinking emotionally.
And then that same adjuster is gonna come back in a few months for another customer.
He's gonna know. He's gonna know. So, like,
this guy.
So you gotta be mentally prepared for that. That's why I tell a lot of shop owners, man, like, take your time. Like, don't rush to this stuff. Let me see. Daniel had a question. He says, the other day, got a supplement check with my shop name, the customer's name, and the insurance finance name for a lawyer supplement check. Okay, I mean, what you can do, Daniel, on that is you can call Fred Loya and you can ask them to reissue it to you in the shop only. That's one thing you can do. The other thing you can do is you can get your invoice and a copy of the estimate, uh, and then next day mail it to the finance company to see if they'll stamp it for you. But a lot of times, what we'll do with that is we'll just call and have them reissue a check to the maybe to the shop directly, or to the customer and the shop. Is the vehicle already? Is it still there, or you left already?
There might be some lag between the
Yeah.
video and the chat.
Okay. Let's get into the next one.
Pros and cons of getting a paint mixing system.
Okay. So the pros and cons of getting a paint mixing system.
So you want to start by explaining a paint mixing system
Yeah,
versus
so
alternative ways?
so the thing with having a paint system is you just got to be careful with it. Like you got to be careful because what a paint mixing system is, it's a machine. Have you been at Home Depot, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you see they can make all the paints.
Yes.
Okay, it's the same thing. Basically, like you can make any color, right? And the thing with that is like you can get careless with mixing paint. You can like just be mixing paint, or you want to paint this, you just mix the paint, and so it gets expensive if you're not using it for a certain job. So if you're gonna get a mixing system, use it just for the job. Like make sure you're just using it for that. The other thing too is like what it does. It frees you up from having to do all the painting, because like they're like most painters. If you started off painting in a shop, and leave a comment if you agree with this. Like if you started off painting like in a shop or at your house doing side jobs, you might have gotten material from work. You might have bought some material from the paint store. You might have bought some material from O'Reilly's, and so now you'll have maybe chroma base color, then you'll have Transtar clear, then you might have Transtar primer, or you might have Nason sealer. Like you might have all these different products, right? And so what's happened is like that's called cocktailing. You're cocktailing. You're mixing all these different brands and everything to get a paint job, right? And so cocktailing is cool, but the thing is like there's only one cocktailer. Like you can't teach someone to be a cocktailer.
Yeah.
You know? And so for example, like if let's just say we use all these different brands at the to paint. And you wanted to come and I was gonna train you to be a painter. Okay? How would I train you to mix the paint? Like I'd be like, oh, we'd mix this one, but like use that hardener. Like
And then every time it's gonna be different.
it's gonna be different, and so it's harder to hand off
Yeah.
to someone else. Okay, but with the painting system, you have a process like we did it the other day. I showed Eric. I said, look, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and he pretty much mixed the paint by himself the other day.
Yeah.
Like because it's all in place. So with the paint system, you can create a system to teach someone else. So now, look, the goal is to free up time, right? So look, if you're a technician and you're still running your shop and you're still doing the painting, you're still doing all this stuff, right? Now you can hire someone part-time to just come mix the paint for you. Or you can have a helper and you teach him how to mix the paint, and then maybe you have him start to trim out things. Maybe you have him just do minor things. So now what you're doing is you're training him on how to mix the paint, how to find the color chips, and also too, like you have resources. So for example, like let's just say Eric he's mixing paint, right? And so we have tech support there. So that's a resource. So I'm like, dude, like if you have any problems with this machine or with the color, don't call me. Call tech support first.
Yeah.
And so now I have a free online, a free person that's available to mess with him. And so now I'm over here making money. I'm getting customers in, doing supplements or whatever. He's on the phone with the customer support. Hey, I'm having problems on this system or whatever. they know the system from the back of their head, so they can walk him through the system like over the phone.
Yeah.
You know, did you do this? Did you do this? And so now he's like, oh, I got it figured out. So now he's not having to bother me. Versus we're doing cocktails. He's gonna be, hey, which sealer do I use? What primer? Like what? Like, you know, now it's reacting. Like it reacted on me. What'd you put? I don't remember. Like I just used what you said. Oh, that's the wrong hardener. Like, you know, so it's always gonna be good to get a paint mixing system because it keeps things like simple. It keeps things clean. And the thing with that is like you want to make sure that whenever you're mixing that you actually have an RO number, a purchase order number, something that you can report that attach that mix to what vehicle you attach it to, so you actually can track the expense of it. Did I answer your question, Daniel, on that supplement check? We had no questions on TikTok. Our mic went out on TikTok. If you can hear us on TikTok, I don't think we have any questions on TikTok though. But
No.
all right, guys, we're about to. What do we have for next week, Aaron? Share what we have for next week.
So next week we're going to be talking about word of mouth versus new customers, how to do supplements, and then how to buy your first paint booth.
Nice. Okay. And if y'all have any questions that y'all want us to talk about, like leave them in the comments. Aaron will see it. I'll see it. I'll be like, hey, we gotta make a video on this, or we gotta talk about this next time. We'll add it as a bonus. So let's check it out. So if you comment a question or if you have something, we'll do it as a bonus question, and we'll also give your channel a shout out.
I believe we actually have a question today.
Which one?
It is, how can I open an account for my business?
Who's that from?
It is from
Can you see it there? Or you can probably see it on your phone. No.
Chefester01 on YouTube.
Oh, you put it on the screen?
Yeah, so he's starting up his business and he needs some help and he just wants to know how to start an account.
Can you put a screenshot of that or no?
It's on there. The YouTube has some lag. That's why.
Oh, okay. It's gonna come up like this. What?
No, it's like we're lagged on there, so it's gonna come up at normal time, like
Okay.
as we're talking.
Okay, got it. Okay, got it. I want to see it so I can because I can see on the screen here.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I don't know how much of a delay we're on. Oh wait.
What? Oh, nice.
Yeah. So you were like.
I was back.
Yeah.
Okay. How can I open an account for my business? So I'm starting up and need some help. Okay, so there's two ways you can do that. You can. What I always recommend is I'm always recommending like form your LLC. Form your LLC. When you get the you did the LLC not too long ago. Why don't you
Correct.
share with us like what's up with that?
So I did mine. I didn't go through LegalZoom, but it's LegalZoom, correct?
Yeah, you can use LegalZoom too, but
Yes.
you actually went through the
Yeah,
IRS.
I just did my own research and saw the steps. So you go to the Secretary of State website.
Mhm.
So that'll be wherever you're in. So Texas Secretary of State. You'll find the tab for starting your LLC. You
Okay.
go through all the steps, finding your name, making sure the name's not already taken. Then they're gonna process it, send you the information for your LLC, and then you take that information to the IRS website to get your EIN number.
Mm.
So, and then they'll give you that, and then from there you take that number to the bank to open up a business account.
Nice. Okay. I mean, and if you have any more questions with that, you can reach out to me and Aaron, or reach out to Aaron through here, and he can get on a call with you, or y'all can walk through that. But we would like for the real estate and stuff like that. We usually do it on LegalZoom.
Mhm.
It's a little bit more on LegalZoom, depending on how fast you want to get it done. So like I know like on some of them I've paid like $600. Some are like $200. My wife just got one not too long ago. Like it wasn't that much either. But you can also do it in payments. And so to answer your question, it's going to be set up your LLC. Okay, you're going to get an EIN number. That's like a social security number for your business. You can also get a tax ID number if you're going to resell something. But with the EIN number, you can go to the bank and you give them that EIN number, and they'll have your article of what is it? Whenever you get the LLC set up, they're gonna give you like a bunch of different
Yeah,
papers.
you have. I think it's like um two main papers saying like this is your LLC,
Yeah,
this is the number for the state or whatever that
yeah,
deals with it.
yeah. It's just some paperwork. They it's attached with the EIN number, and then they'll set up your business account pretty quick. Like you can, I think you put like $25 to.
Yeah, depending on your bank, they have a minimum deposit.
Yeah, it's very low, and that's how you're gonna get set up. Like just the other way you can do it is you can do it as a sole proprietor, but I really don't suggest that because I mean you're gonna be paying a lot of taxes and it's a lot of liability. So you always want to get it set up the right way. And I'm telling you from experience because I was a sole proprietor for a long time, dude. And I can share this quick story with you, but like I was sole proprietor for a long time, dude. And one of the dumbest things that I did was I was actually taking business advice from a bookkeeper, you know, from a tax lady. Like
Yeah.
I was taking business advice from a tax lady, and it was like I think what happened was if you get a right advice from the wrong person, uh, man, it was fucking like I think about it, it pisses me off, dude, uh, because my vision was so big, but like the information she was giving me was so limited. Like it was so small minded. Like it was like, okay, you know what? You made all this money. We're gonna write off this. We're gonna write off that, so you don't have to pay taxes. And I thought that was a good thing. And I was like, all right, yeah. Well, 3 years later, right? Uh, I'm like, hey, I want to buy some real estate. I want to buy something. Do you work? Yeah, I gotta. I'm self-employed. Okay, bring us your tax returns. I bring the tax returns. Oh, it shows Mr. Medina like you hadn't made any money in 3 years. What do you mean I didn't make any money? Yeah, I did. No, like you reported like a loss
Yeah.
actually, and like you always reported a loss. And so I was like, dang. So like what it did was, it kind of just like it was like a roadblock, dude. Like it was like it sucked because it was like a roadblock, and I was like, man, like in order for me to get in this position again, like in order for me to buy a house, that means I gotta wait 3 more years to get finance, like to
To
buy,
correct the
to
past.
to kind of like now report, right? And so what I did was, craziest thing, dude, is I fucking I redid my taxes for the past 3 years. I said, well, I'm just gonna redo them, and they're like, you know what you're doing. I was like, yeah, like you don't want to do that. I was like, why not? Because you're gonna have to pay money. I was like, fuck it, like I'm gonna save 3 years.
Yeah.
I'd rather fucking just pay like I'd rather just owe the money and I get everything corrected. I can move a lot faster. So I went that route, and it was like a big tax bill, but I eventually got through it, but I learned an expensive lesson, like a probably like a $40,000 lesson that hey, like don't listen to this fucking people that tell you to cut all these corners, and that's why with you I was like, dude, just set it up the right way, bro. Like set it
Yeah.
up the right way, like you'll be good. You won't have to worry about that again. In fact, that's like a building block for you to like, dude. Like you're like your game, like it's gonna be a game changer. You got your LLC set up, right? Once you get that going, you're pretty much business owner.
Yeah.
But now you're comfortable with LLC,
Mhm.
right? You keep fucking with me, like you're gonna have a couple of properties in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be like no, we're gonna be like nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, Aaron, I got this property, man. You should pick it up. All right, let me set the LLC, like
Mhm.
and so it's just a foundation, And I wish that like whenever I was starting off, I was getting advice from this lady. You can take that off now. I was getting advice from this lady, like I wish she would have gave me some real game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and starting the LLC is not a crazy investment.
Yeah, it's not, and it's a start to something bigger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Crazy story. First time that I was told, hey, if you expect to grow your business, like you can't be operating as a sole proprietor. Like you need to set up an LLC, right? True story, dude. I set up an appointment with the business attorney, right? And I walk in his office. We're like in this big boardroom, right? It's just me and him. And he's like, "Okay, Mr. Medina, how you doing, sir? Like I heard you're wanting to set up an LLC." And he's like, "What are you wanting to do, right?" And I said, "This is what I want to do, man." I said, "I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna have this business, but then in a couple years I'm gonna do this business too. But then I'm gonna have these other businesses. They're all gonna be like branches of that business, right? And he's like, man, that's crazy, right? And I said, but I want to set up all the LLCs now. He's like, what? Like I was like, yeah, I'm gonna set them all 5 right now. He's like, why? And I was like, because I'm gonna do it. Like if I just do it now, like I don't have to go back and do it.
Yeah.
Like I'm almost like, committing to like, hey, I got this LLC, like I got this business.
I have to do this.
I have to. It needs to be making money. Like how am I gonna make that business make money? You know what I mean? And so it's like I planted all these seeds, and and so my job was just to make sure that I stayed watering them, growing, and keep pushing forward. You know what I mean? But I mean, you know, that was an expensive lesson. Big shout out to Daniel, man. I appreciate the questions, Daniel, man. That I appreciate you listening. I'm glad that we were able to add value and help you out, man. Massive Action Podcast. Uh, everything collision work, everything body work, everything. Real game out here. We're still grinding it out. Every day. Like we run into obstacles. He's with the grind with me. So later, guys. Till next week. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment. We will give you a shout out. We will pull your question up, and we
TikTok
will
comments too.
Hey, TikTok as well. Let me see. I think we had a question. Send message. Let me know on TikTok if you have any questions. Sorry, our mic went out. Next week we will be better prepared. If not, I'll see you probably Monday night
For your webinar.
We're out.